Do you see a scenario in which the administration may be willing to agree to allow Iran to continue enriching uranium for civilian nuclear purposes?
Well, look, what the president has said is that we don't want Iran to have the capacity to build a nuclear weapon. The president's also said that we don't want Iran enriching towards a nuclear weapon, and we want Iran to give up the nuclear fuel. Those are going to be our demands during the negotiation, and again, we're going to see what the Iranians are willing to give up. If they make a good faith effort to actually give us the things that we need to have a successful negotiation for the security of the American people, I think there's a lot on the other end. If they don't give us what we need, then I think it's going to be bad, but I'm optimistic that the Iranians are going to be smart, that they're going to negotiate in good faith.
And your negotiating partner in Iran, I know Kevin sort of asked about this already, but he essentially is saying that they're distrustful of the U.S. for, he tweeted out that 3 of the 10 points in the ceasefire framework have already been violated. They're distrustful of the U.S. What do you make of him tweeting that out before negotiations?
So I thought it was interesting, actually, because I did see that tweet from Ghalibaf actually just a couple of minutes ago. And let me say a few things. First of all, he said that there are a few points of disagreement before the negotiation. Well, that must mean that there's a lot of points of agreement, because there's a 15-point plan floating around. There's a 10-point plan floating around. If he's frustrated about 3 issues, that actually means that there's a lot of agreement. That's point number 1. Point number 2, to respond to each of those issues, and I read it very closely, let me just say this. I actually wonder how good he is at understanding English, because there are things that he said that frankly didn't make sense in the context of the negotiations that we've had. But to address the 3 points, first of all, he talked about an attack that had allegedly happened on Iran and how that was a violation of the ceasefire. Ceasefires are always messy. An hour after the president announced the ceasefire, the Iranians launched a bunch of missiles. Then the Israelis responded. Then some of the Gulf Arab states responded. This is the nature of a ceasefire. No ceasefire ever goes without a little bit of choppiness. What we have been very clear about is that we want to stop the bombing. We want our allies to stop the bombing, and we want the Iranians to do the same thing. We're seeing evidence that things are going in the right direction, but it's going to take a little time. The second thing Ghalibaf said, which again I found fascinating, is he said, we refuse to give up the right to enrichment. And I thought to myself, you know what? My wife has the right to skydive, but she doesn't jump out of an airplane, because she and I have an agreement that she's not going to do that, because I don't want my wife jumping out of an airplane. We don't really concern ourselves with what they claim they have the right to do. We concern ourselves with what they actually do. And I think the president's been very clear on the enrichment question. Our position on that has not changed. I think the third thing that he said was Lebanon. Okay, and again, I actually think that is a reasonable misunderstanding, but neither us nor the Israelis said that that was going to be part of the ceasefire. Again, we're working with people to try to get through some of these things, but it's really fundamentally, we're on the right track. We got a lot more to do. We got a lot more that the Iranians are going to have to accept as part of this negotiation, but I think we've got a strong hand and we're going to play it well. Thank you all. Have a safe trip back.
The talks won't happen.
अमेरिका के नायब सदर जेडी वैंस मीडिया से गुफ्तगू कर रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा कि हमने उन पर पाबंदियां कम करने पर बात कर सकते हैं। ईरान हमारे पास लेवरेज है। हुर्मस में ट्रैफिक बढ़ी है, तेल की कीमतें कम हुई हैं। डील ये है कि सीज फायर हो। बातचीत में लोगों की नीयतों पर अदम एतमाद काफ़ी है। अमेरिकी नायब सदर ने कहा कि इसराइलियों ने लबनान में खुद को चेक करने की पेशकश की है। ईरानी हुकूमत ने समझा कि लबनान भी सीज फायर में शामिल होगा। हमने ऐसा कभी नहीं कहा। इसराइली हमें ईरान पर मुज़ाकरात में कामयाबी के लिए तैयार करने की कोशिशें कर रहे हैं। हम ईरान पर पाबंदियां कम करने पर बात कर सकते हैं। हुर्मस में ट्रैफिक बढ़ी है, तेल की कीमतें कम हुई हैं। डील ये है कि सीज फायर हो और बातचीत हो। ईरान ने बैनुल अक़वामी के लिए आबनाए हुर्मस से गुजरने के लिए रास्तों का तयन कर दिया। खबर एजेंसी रॉयटर्स ने ईरानी मीडिया के हवाले से बताया कि ईरानी रिपोर्ट्स एंड मैरीटाइम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने हिदायत की है कि आबना हुर्मस से गुजरने के लिए इनकलाबी गार्ड से रब्ता किया जाए। ओमान से लाराक के रास्ते आबना हुर्मस में दाखिला महफूज होगा। बहरी जहाज आबना हुर्मस से निकलने के लिए जुनूबी लाराक जजीरे के रास्ते ओमान जा सकते हैं। ईरानी मीडिया के मुताबिक इससे पहले बगैर इजाजत गुजरने वाले एक ऑयल टैंकर को खलीज के पानियों में वापस भेज दिया गया था। लेबनान पर इसराइल ने शहरी आबादी पर वहशियाना हमले किए। एक बच्ची की सोशल मीडिया वीडियो बनाते हुए करीब ही गोले बरसना शुरू हो गए। बच्ची और उसके वालिद ने भागकर जान बचाई।